Coming up on the Elon Phoenix Weekly.
We run with the stars of cross country.
Dance with Charlotte Smith to raise money for charity.
And interview the commissioner of the CAA.
All that and more next on the Elon Phoenix Weekly. Good morning and welcome to another edition of the Elon Phoenix Weekly. I'm Tori Baptist.
And I'm Stephen Normington. Thanks for joining us on your ESPN2 local sports break.
The move to the CAA has challenged Phoenix athletics as they face bigger schools and tougher opponents in conference play.
Yet as athletes and coaches navigate uncharted waters, they remain steadfast to their ideals while showing the rest of the country what Elon teams are all about.
And at their core, the Phoenix still have the same goal as before, to win.
The football team recently played their first game in the CAA, and the conference commissioner, Tom Yeager, was in attendance to celebrate a special moment.
On October 4th, 2014, the Elon Phoenix played their first conference game as a new member of the Colonial Athletic Conference against the University of New Hampshire. Commissioner-President Tom Yeager was in attendance to commemorate the special event.
Joining us on the field today is CAA Commissioner Tom Yeager, who will present Elon University President Leo M. Lambert with a special game ball to commemorate this historic occasion.
Commissioner Yeager couldn't be more thrilled to have Elon as a new member of the CAA.
Well, I think you start first and foremost with the foundation of the institution. It's a terrific university. Embodies a lot of the same characteristics that our members subscribe to. Very well respected, and I think really looking at an institution and looking out into the future that is going to continue to grow in stature, with each passing year. So it was a terrific fit, and I think as the other colonial schools come down and experience campus, and as I know for Elon, the excitement about the reach up into the Northeast Corridor. When the Elon teams go to Philadelphia, New York, Boston, they'll have an opportunity to organize different alumni and admissions events around those contests, and it's a great opportunity again to expand the reach of the university.
Although Elon is a great fit for the CAA, what makes the CAA a great fit for Elon?
Well, we've been fortunate. I think that first and foremost, our institutions have invested in their intercollegiate athletic program. And we've been fortunate to, they've hired good coaches, they've recruited good young men and women to participate in their programs, they built great facilities for them to compete in, they provide them the support services for them to be successful as students and happy with their choices. And then every once in a while we get a lucky bounce, and it kind of all comes together. But yeah, in football we've had 5 national champions, 5 different national champions. We've been to the national championship game 8 of the last 11 years. We won 4 of those championships. We've had Final Four teams, 2 Final Four teams in men's basketball, Final Four team in women's basketball in the 90s. We've had I think 15 national championships in 5 different sports. So it shows a broad base of support for the athletic programs. But first and foremost, our schools have delivered on the promise for providing a college education for our young men and women that participate.
With the beginning of the journey underway, Elon looks to have an outstanding future for many years to come.
Well, I think it'll be a tremendous member. We're here for the first football game, this weekend. But just the character of the university, the proximity and the identification with the other universities. We look for just a terrific member over time, and we anticipate that the conference is going to deliver tremendous benefits back to the university in turn. So it really is a partnership. Having having one successful but not successful for the other doesn't really work. And that's why I think you get very selective in talking about schools that you like to be associated with, and Elon scored off the charts, in all those. So just like the university, we think there's a very bright future ahead.
We share Commissioner Yeager's enthusiasm as Elon embarks on this new journey.
Elon's men's and women's cross-country teams have already run away with many victories this season, winning both meets and individual honors on a weekly basis.
Cross-country. No timeouts, no substitutes, just pure constant effort and adrenaline. It's been an exciting season for Elon's men's and women's teams, joining a new conference and adding new coach Nick Polk right before the season started.
Elon was a place that I could go into and be a head coach at the Division I level, and with a program I thought I could really make a lot better and improve. And that's something I brought to the team, is sort of experience. I've been in their shoes. And the other thing I'm bringing, I think, is a laid-back approach to day-to-day life with them, but also we're training really hard.
Coach Polk has encouraged the team to work harder than they've ever worked before, but the runners have responded well to the pressure. The men and women swept their first two meets, both of them at home.
Everybody has started out really strong, and so we are big believers in momentum. So that positivity and that confidence that you gain from the successes early on really help in later meets throughout the season.
We came in, raced pretty quickly off the bat from when I got here, and saw some improvements in the first race. Our second meet was the Elon Invite at home, and we had almost every man and woman on the team PR. And then we went to Raleigh, to NC State Invitational, and had an awesome race. We hit the ground running. Luis just won his third CAA Runner of the Week out of 4 weeks, I believe, 4 or 5 weeks. So that's awesome, and we won our first 2 women's CAA Runners of the Week. So. But those are things that I expected. Those are things that I wanted, and I want to move on to, bigger and better things down the line.
Luis Vargas won the first CAA Athlete of the Week honor in Elon history, and has now won the title 3 times. Fellow captain Elise Beirut has also earned Runner of the Week honors this season.
It feels good. I think the best part of it is that I get to represent Elon at a national level. We're going to pretty big meets, where especially Notre Dame, where there's a lot of schools from all over the nation, and so everyone else sees that we do have a good program, and it's just nice to give back to the school that's given me so much.
It's definitely good to for a program to get that attention and kind of show the whole conference, like Elise and Luis and these teams, like, they have good people.
Luis is a special athlete. I spend a lot of time watching him, working with him, figuring out training, and talking about him because he does such a good job. He has what it takes mentally and physically, and he's nowhere near what his capabilities are. And I think he's slowly starting to gain the confidence and realizing that.
It's so awesome. Luis is such a great guy, and he's such a hard worker, and he so deserves these honors that he's had 3 times now. So it's really awesome to be honored alongside him.
Elise is another really good runner, and she has all the tools to be successful. She came in, and we've been working together really well, and she had a breakthrough race for her at Raleigh at NC State, and it was just a moment for her that she'd been waiting for a couple of years to sort of break through like she did.
Elise is great. She's really inspirational at practices since we practice together. It's always really nice to, look over while I'm, taking a rest and just seeing the women work really hard. And Elise is she's not only a great runner, but she's a great captain.
As they prepare for their championship meets, the Elon runners plan to take the program farther than it's ever gone before.
I think if we keep working hard like we are and working each day to make it the best that we can be on that day, that really good things are in store for us at the end of the season.
Our sport, we have like 3-4 races, and then it's our championship season. And so, we work really hard the whole season, just training, just for that one race. And so that's where we're going to lay it all out there in the field.
There's good things in store. The team's rounding into shape really well, so my expectations are that everything will go according to plan.
The runners are now preparing for the CAA Championships in Boston, Massachusetts. And that brings us to today's trivia. Luis Vargas isn't the only Phoenix athlete to ever win races with speedy times. Who was Elon's first cross-country runner to win an individual title? The answer to that coming up later in the show.
It's time for our first commercial break, but coming up, we'll tell you about two interesting characters on the men's soccer team.
An Elon education is about preparing students for a life of global citizenship. Of course, this is a place where you're going to come and earn a degree, but it's also a place that's going to get you to think very deeply about how you're going to use that degree to make the world a better place.
There are currently over 350 Elon student athletes competing in 16 NCAA Division I sports.
Scholarships enable us to succeed not only on the field,
but also in the classroom.
It helps us in achieving our commitment.
To live the maroon life.
Your gifts have the power to take Phoenix athletics to even greater heights while giving student athletes an outstanding education.
Welcome back. Now the answer to today's trivia. Before the break, we asked, who was Elon's first cross-country runner to win an individual title? The answer, John Tumbleson. He won the Southeastern Collegiate Invitational Race in 2005 with a time of 26 minutes and 20 seconds.
Every challenge is an opportunity to rise. That is the mentality the Elon men's basketball team will bring onto the court every game this season, as they face the most challenging schedule in the program's history.
It's a great opportunity for our program to succeed in a great conference. And it opens up a lot of doors for us. We get to travel up the East Coast, and we're in Baltimore and Philadelphia and New York and Boston and in several other cities. But what really gets lost in the shuffle is we also have some bus rides. I mean, William and Mary's not that far, James Madison's not that far, Wilmington's the closest school, and then you have Charleston, which we're used to busing down there. So it's a great conference, a great group of like-minded universities, and a great basketball conference.
It's a great opportunity, not only for myself, but just the Elon University athletic department. CAA has a lot of great history. A lot of great teams that have done some pretty prestigious things.
Jack Wheaton does our scheduling, and he put together a tremendous schedule. And we're excited to be in the CAA. We know the challenges that the CAA presents. But we also wanted to challenge our team in the non-conference. And we open up the year against Florida Atlantic in this building. And then 2 nights later, we play UNC Charlotte in this building. And that's 2 Conference USA schools. And those are opportunities that our program hasn't had a lot of. And we're thankful and excited about the opportunity to play these Conference USA opponents just to kick off the year.
Growing up, obviously you want to play in some cool historic places or new places. And Coach Matheny has done a really good job. Obviously we get to go down to Cancun this year, so that'll be a lot of fun. Then we also get to play at Cameron. So, Coach does a very good job of getting us in some cool places and good opportunities you can only get being a college basketball player.
There's not one person on this year's team that will have the same role as they had last year. And that speaks a lot to the fact that we have a ton of inexperience. Everybody's getting a new role. And it's exciting as a coach, and I'm sure our players are excited too, because what that means is a lot of competition for playing time, a lot of competition for the roles that are available for players, and our guys have embraced that. And they are working, competing against each other more than they ever have, and working together in a more intense fashion. It's going to make us a better team.
We've had great leaders in the past, with that senior class leading. But, it's our time to step up, and we're definitely, willing to just take that challenge. And, I think we got a great group of guys, and, we're going to lead these guys to, do some amazing things.
Losing those guys definitely has brought on a greater role for a lot of players, but we got a good group, and if we just work at it and get after it for the next 6 weeks in practice, we'll come as one, and we'll do it as a team. It's not on one player. We're going to do it as a group.
We really like our freshman class. We got 5 Elon men to join us, and we look for toughness, coachability, and work ethic, and ambition. And we want guys that want to be great. So there's the ambition part. We want guys that'll work. We want guys that'll listen. We want guys with a bit of toughness as we face all kinds of adversity. And we feel like we got it with all 5.
Our chemistry is more than just on the basketball court. And when you bring in a player on a visit or the first time he comes on campus, he just knows that he's coming into a brotherhood. We connect instantly. Whether you're from West Coast, East Coast, Canada, we're all one now. We're all family.
We've got a great senior class. I mean, you think about Austin Hamilton, and you think about Kevin Blake and Ryan Winters, and what all they've seen, what all they have experienced. And our system is in place, and our culture is in place. And although we lost quite a bit of experience and talent, we do not go back to square one. We are not in a rebuilding mode. What we are in is a mode of building this team. And we have great senior leaders that will help us build this team.
A few of the exciting games and tournaments Coach Matheny and his players alluded to are the Cancun Challenge, as well as non-conference games against Northwestern, Missouri, Duke, and Marist, respectively.
For the 3rd year in a row, a member of the Elon Athletics Department took part in a local dancing competition for the organization Little Pink House of Hope. Women's head basketball coach Charlotte Smith took to the dance floor in an effort to raise money for a family affected by breast cancer.
On October 11th, Elon women's basketball coach Charlotte Smith, as well as Elon student Anthony Amatucci, took part in Dancing with the Little Pink Stars, a gala dinner and event hosted by local cancer charity Little Pink Houses of Hope.
The event is very important because we're raising funds to supply week-long retreats to the breast cancer survivors of Little Pink Houses of Hope. So they give them week-long retreats, and they actually get a chance to just have fun and just enjoy themselves, because cancer not only touches the patient, but it touches the family as well. And so it's just a chance for the family to get away, to rejuvenate, to be with other families, to help identify how they overcame their struggles as well.
For the last 3 years, Elon's athletic department and Little Pink Houses of Hope have been affiliated. But for Coach Smith, this event is not just another coach taking a turn on the dance floor.
I personally was affected by cancer, as my dad actually was diagnosed with prostate cancer in the early 2000s and passed away in 2006 from cancer. So cancer has touched, our family in a significant way, after having lost my father. And so I was just thrilled about the opportunity to be able to give to Little Pink Houses of Hope, in the capacity of participating in Dance with Little Pink Stars.
Coach Smith shared her own thoughts on her dancing abilities.
I consider myself to be a pretty good dancer, and I'm just fortunate to have Anthony as my dance partner. He's been a great instructor, and so he's done a phenomenal job.
I've been on the ballroom team now for 2 years, and
I've seen myself be a newcomer and trying to learn, and then seeing other people doing it, and she has picked up everything so quickly, and just she's a great performer, so it's a lot of fun.
The partners share similar motivations for participating in this event.
My grandfather died because of cancer, and then my grandmother actually had breast cancer and is now cured, so that's awesome. But yeah, so it's something that's very, dear to me, and I think it's important that people, help out and try and reach out to anyone who they can.
Anthony describes how himself and Coach Smith pieced together their routine for the gala.
The first thing, I was like, okay, I started off just trying to get to know what kind of dancer she was, and then I realized she was a really great mover. She had told me, she's like, I want to do a really sexy Latin dance. I was like, awesome. So that's like just what I went for. I was like, let's go. I want a hot dance. She's beautiful and she is great at dancing.
Coach Smith was able to apply fundamentals from basketball to help her in her dancing routine.
I think my basketball career prepared me for this dancing competition. You have to have a lot of good footwork down in the post. And, this dancing, it requires a lot of footwork, a lot of timing. So it parallels with basketball a lot.
Through silent auctions, ticket sales, and meal sales, this event was able to raise several thousands of dollars for Little Pink Houses of Hope. Coach Smith and Anthony as a team raised just over $9,000 alone through voters on their team page, providing hope and joy while having fun and gaining new experiences along the way.
This is just one of the many ways that Elon coaches support the community and set an example for their teams.
Wow, that's a boatload of cash. And now it's time for today's history.
This week in Elon Sports History, we take a look back on the inception of women's soccer. Elon College added a women's soccer team in 1986, and in their inaugural season, the Lady Christians finished 10-3 and made it to the NAIA Eastern Regional Finals, riding the performances of Brandy Hamill, Judith Smith, and goalie Chris Porter. In 1987, their record slipped to 10-9. However, 6 of their losses were to ranked NCAA Division I opponents. The Lady Christians once again qualified for the NAIA Eastern Regional Tournament. A year later, the women's soccer team advanced to the regional tournament for a 3rd straight year. Despite losing in the first round, the Lady Christians won their consolation match to capture 3rd place in the tournament and 10th place in the final national poll. In its first 3 seasons, the women's soccer team compiled an impressive 34-17 record while playing some of the finest teams in the nation. And that's this week's look into Elon Sports History.
Through their daily pursuit of excellence, Elon student athletes have gained recognition for their achievements, both on and off the field.
Building a winning tradition takes hard work and dedication.
Dedication to the maroon life.
Where success is not only measured by just wins and trophies,
but also by the knowledge we gain.
At Elon, we're more than just athletes.
We're student athletes.
Providing support enables success, helps sustain the winning tradition of Elon Athletics, while securing the future of our student athletes for years to come.
The Elon Phoenix Weekly is made possible by the students of the School of Communications, in association with the dedicated coaches, athletes, and staff of Elon Athletics.
We now welcome Tommy Hamzik, sports editor of The Pendulum, to tell us more about the recent success in men's soccer.
A 14-game winless span in the Colonial Athletic Association finally ended for Elon Athletics on October 11th as the men's soccer team routed Northeastern 5-0 for the school's first victory in CAA competition. Elon joined the CAA in July after spending 11 seasons as a member of the Southern Conference. The move brought new competition and different faces, which Elon struggled with across men's and women's soccer, football, and volleyball to start the fall season. But goals from Jason Waterman, James Brace, Cowie De Silva, Luis Argudo, and Elliot Browarski helped the Phoenix to a dominating victory. Senior goalkeeper Nathan Dean broke Elon's all-time record for career shutouts with 23. The previous record was held by Clint Irwin, now with the Colorado Rapids of the MLS. The women's soccer team picked up its first CAA victory the following day, beating Delaware 2-0. These two victories are a sign of great things to come for the Phoenix in their new conference. For The Pendulum, I'm Tommy Hamzik.
Thanks, Tommy. Oftentimes in sports, teams consider themselves to be part of one big family. And for many athletes, the bond they share with teammates forms everlasting brotherhoods. For soccer players, Miles and Connor Mansfield, their brotherhood was actually what drew the brothers here to Elon.
I didn't get to play with them much in high school because in high school I was injured a lot as well, and I know that I thought it'd be a great experience to be able to play with Miles, and I think that we have a lot of good brother chemistry, so I'm excited to finally get back from my injury and finally make it out onto the field with him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, kind of through the whole recruiting process, we had Darren and Chris, who I've known forever, and they recruited me, and then they were talking to me about Connor, and they were hoping that they were going to be able to snag Connor away from some of the other schools in the area. So when it happened, it was really exciting. At this level, I haven't played with him yet, but I got to play with him in high school a bunch, and I think that, I mean, he'll adapt really easily to it.
Winning the state championship,
yeah. Has to be. So, I was a junior, you were in 8th grade, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of had, like, he got pulled up because, I mean, he was like a really great player when he was that age, and it just injuries kind of like a little setback, but he hopped in as an 8th grader. It was really funny because he was the smallest kid on the field, and we ended up winning, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a surreal experience, being able to play in the state championship as an 8th grader, and being able to play with all these kids that I idolized growing up, Miles's friends, like the top players of the club team where we came from, and being able to play with them on a high school team was crazy, and then being able to play for a state championship was even better. I like Elon a lot, more so than anything. I think a big reason for me choosing Elon was because Miles was here and because I knew a lot of the players in the locker room, a lot of players on the team, and that had everything to do with my decision. I just felt like I was at home here.
Mom didn't want us to play football. My dad played football. She was too worried about us getting like knocked out, hurt, or something. So we were like, all right, whatever, like we'll play whatever our friends are playing. We slept in bunk beds back at our house for, I don't know, until we were in like 10th grade.
For a long time.
I mean, until I was in 10th grade. Yeah. He was like, I don't know, 3 years old or whatever grade that puts him in.
8th grade.
But yeah, we had bunk beds for a while, so that's fun. One of my favorite stories, and it's like, my mom always kills me about it, but when I was younger, me and my friends, we would always, like, Connor was like the little guy who always like came after us and stuff like that. We ended up tying him against a tree, and we left him there for like 3 or 4 hours. My mom came out, oh my gosh, she was so mad. She was so mad. And like, I still don't think to this day you'll let me live that down. Yeah. That was like the meanest thing I've ever done.
Pretty mean.
I don't know if it's embarrassing, but I think it's a funny story. I don't know what I was thinking, but I guess brotherly love.
The Mansfield brothers are not only vital members to Elon's soccer program, but also form one of the most tightly knit teams in the nation.
There's a lot going on in men's soccer.
I'm excited to see them play James Madison for one this weekend. But if you missed anything or want to watch it again, be sure to check us out on our YouTube page at youtube.com/ElonPhoenixWeekly.
You can also catch us on Time Warner Cable, channel 1083 to watch us on demand.
Be sure to visit ElonPhoenix.com. You'll never miss another touchdown, home run, point, or goal. And be sure to tune in next week when we hit home runs with the softball team and look ahead to the women's basketball's upcoming season.
On behalf of our producers and crew here at the show, we hope you continue to have a spectacular weekend.
For the Elon Phoenix Weekly, I'm Stephen Normington.
And I'm Tori Baptist. Live the maroon life.